What is this production?
Oh!
And the thing that I really appreciate about Tank is he's a dog. That kind of that what he just said. You can put them earmuffs up and go at it. He kind of will assess you as well, and whatever he needs to do, he'll do it.
Jake Paul has finally broken his silence on the new viral footage of Gervonta Tank Davis lighting up the gym, and his reaction has the internet buzzing. The sparring clips show Tank moving with laser precision, quicker hands, sharper angles, and explosive bursts that remind everyone why he's one of boxing's most dangerous punchers. Fans are now debating whether we're witnessing Davis entering the most dominant phase of his career, but here's where it gets interesting. Davis has built his empire in the lighter divisions, rarely venturing beyond 135 pounds and never officially touching the 140 mark in professional bouts. Jake Paul, on the other hand, lives in a completely different weight world, a full-fledged cruiserweight who steps into the ring around 200 pounds. That's not a small difference. That's multiple divisions apart. When that kind of size gap exists, everything changes. Power, durability, and the ability to absorb punishment all start tipping toward the bigger man. It's no longer just about skill or speed, it's about who can take a clean shot and still stay composed under pressure. And that's exactly what makes this potential showdown so fascinating.
Something else that's unfortunate is the idea that Jake Paul might actually fight Gervonta Tank Davis. This can't be real. When it came up a couple of months ago, I was like, you know what? I'm not even gonna cover this because there's no way it's real. There's no way they're really gonna do that because it makes no sense. Why would you do that for him? Outside of it, like, okay, you can look at it like an exhibition, which it will be, and we'll take a look at some of the rule set for it. But Gervonta Davis is one of, if not the best, biggest names at 135 pounds, and is an active in his prime fighter. I don't want to hear the similar to Floyd and Logan thing, because at that point, Floyd was retired. Floyd had done all he needed to do in the sport. Tank is still in his prime, still has multiple high-level opponents that he needs to fight. And you could say, oh, you know, the Jake would be a one-off. Side quest. That's fine, but that just tells me that Tank doesn't care about being a high-level champion in the sport anymore.
Carmel Moughton recently reflected on a memorable sparring session with Gervonta Davis back when Davis was just 15 or 16 years old, a moment that still stands out in his career. Moughton admitted that stepping into the ring with a young Tank was nerve-wracking at first. But what started as cautious exchanges quickly turned into a calculated chess match, built on timing, precision, and quick reflexes rather than raw aggression. He recalled that Davis never tried to overpower him or swing for a knockout. Instead, the two tested each other's rhythm, trading combinations, adjusting angles, and reading each other's movements in a back-and-forth display of ring IQ. Moughton noted that Davis's natural strength was undeniable, even at that young age, but it was the technical sharpness that really impressed him. By the end, he described the experience as both fun and eye-opening, a competitive session that pushed him to think faster, move smarter, and evolve as a boxer. For Moughton, it wasn't just sparring, it was a turning point that taught him how elite fighters think under pressure.
What was it like when you sparred him? I know you sparred Tank early on. Yeah. What was that experience like? Like, replay that experience for me, like, you coming out of it. What was your thought?
Yeah, I was nervous at first. I think I was 15 at the time we sparred, so he wasn't really, like, trying to knock me out or nothing like that, but we was going, like, he was using the speed on me. Like, we was both, like, going speed for speed, and it was great. It was like a chess match.
Did you understand in that moment, like, why he is who he is?
Yeah, I seen why he's able to beat these guys. Then I also seen why I'm so, like, I got all this hype around me too.
Sean Porter recently came to Gervonta Davis's defense, addressing the wave of criticism surrounding his decision to enter an exhibition bout with Jake Paul. Porter argued that many fans are missing the real story behind the move. In his view, this isn't just about legacy or proving dominance inside the ropes, it's about long-term security and smart business decisions. Porter explained that exhibition fights come with controlled conditions, set rules, safety protocols, and a focus on entertainment rather than damage. For fighters, that means limited risk but potentially massive financial upside. He pointed out that boxing careers are often short and unpredictable, so when opportunities like this arise, turning them down can mean leaving generational wealth on the table. To Porter, Davis's choice isn't about selling out, it's about leveling up. It's a way to protect his body, secure his future, and still give fans something to be excited about. His comments underline an important truth in modern boxing, that the line between sport and business is thinner than ever, and every fighter must find their own balance between legacy and livelihood.
They're trying to make it safer and, all those sorts of things, but there's still this pureness to boxing that really doesn't exist in sports anymore, but it's still there with boxing. I think that's why people have such a problem with this kind of move from Tank Davis.
Is it more the heart? How do you guys feel being boxers?
Man, like once you hear the numbers, I'm like, they're talking, like, I don't know the official one. They're talking about like 100 mil.
Oh, damn.
Like, they're talking about these insane numbers. Like, I'm gonna be like, don't take that. I'm not gonna tell another man not to take that type of check, especially for something like that. It's not on your official record. It's an exhibition. I'm not gonna lie here and act like I'm not gonna say yes to 100 million or something like that. But I do see exactly what you're saying about the essence of boxing. I wish they would kind of separate it a little more, because exhibitions have always been a thing. There's always been an argument.
Right.
But they're just selling it like a real fight almost.
Right.
So I think that maybe if we could create a better like distinction, more of a difference,
right,
there might be less hate on it. But at the end of the day, man, I'm not going to tell Tank not to take that fight.
And I said this last year. I said, create a influencer title. And let those guys fight over there in the influencer world. They can live the world and the life of I'm a world champion without having to do something like this. Now, the issue for this that I have is you have a legitimate 135-pound champion fighter getting in the ring with a 190-pound guy, whatever it is that Jake Paul is at. So now we already let's really answer this thing.
On the other side of the debate, many observers argue that despite the buzz and social media frenzy, the matchup feels more like a spectacle than a legitimate contest. The sheer difference in weight and experience, they say, tilts the scale too far to call it a true competition. Even event organizers seem to recognize this reality. Reports suggest that special precautions are being put in place, a catchweight limit around 195 pounds, the use of larger gloves, and the classification of the event as an exhibition rather than a sanctioned bout. These measures aren't random. They're designed to minimize risk given the physical gap between the two fighters. For many insiders, the intrigue lies less in the numbers on the scale and more in the skill levels on display. Gervonta Davis has faced and beaten world-class opponents, while Jake Paul is still carving out his identity in the sport. Those same analysts picture Tank slipping past Jake's reach, landing pinpoint shots, and turning the bout into a display of precision, making Paul look powerful yet inexperienced, no matter how big he is.
Comment about it. My question is, what's the rules, and like, are they going to actually try and knock each other out? Because it's going to be a glorified sparring match. I'm not watching, dude. I don't give a fuck.
Jake's going to have a hard time hitting him.
Yeah. Big time. Gervonta's so fast and skilled.
Gervonta's going to eat his
I thought
guts.
Jake was going to fight Anthony Joshua. That seemed
no, that was actually getting.
That
sounded
the
more
craziest
interesting.
idea I've ever heard. Jake Paul trying to fight Anthony Joshua is, crazy.
Oh.
Not a sanctioned professional bout. This means the fight will not count towards either fighter's professional records.
So it's still being finalized.
Yeah, I don't like that.
So what is so behind the scenes? You think there are things like, hey, we don't punch each other in the jaw.
Yep. Or don't go. We can punch in the face, but don't go for broke. Like, don't knock me out.
Really?
Yeah. It's an exhibition.
That's
so
not
they
very
can get away
interesting
with
to
it.
me.
No. Until I find the rule sets, but when I hear exhibition, I'm like, okay.
Jake is bodied up, man.
He's big.
Yeah.
Probably has 100 pounds on Gervonta.
Maybe. I'd say Gervonta probably walks at 150.
Oh, he's so small.
He's so small. I mean, he's really small. Bring up Gervonta Davis next to Floyd Mayweather, because I've seen Floyd in person, and he's tiny. You've seen Floyd in person.
I worked with Gervonta and Floyd.
Tiny.
Well, Floyd likely has shoes on there.
Oh, dude, he's so small.
He's tiny, guys.
Yeah. I mean, he's so small. Wow. Great fighter.
Chael Sonnen didn't hold back when weighing in on Jake Paul's latest career move, calling the switch from a potential Anthony Joshua showdown to a Gervonta Tank Davis exhibition a major step down in spectacle. According to Sonnen, fans were expecting something massive, a fight that could shake up the sport, but what they're getting instead feels more like a detour. He explained that while Davis is a phenomenal boxer with proven championship pedigree, he isn't built for the same kind of hype machine Jake Paul thrives in. Tank prefers to let his performances speak for themselves, explosive knockouts, clinical precision, and quiet confidence. Paul, on the other hand, has mastered the art of promotion, controversy, and storytelling, knowing exactly how to keep cameras and headlines focused on him. Sonnen made it clear that this dynamic matters. In his eyes, the fight's buzz won't come from the matchup itself but from Paul's relentless self-marketing. Without that push, he suggested, the event might not capture the mainstream audience it hopes for. To Sonnen, this isn't about who's better in the ring, it's about who can make the world care enough to watch.
It is the exact opposite of Anthony Joshua versus Jake Paul for 2. So the fight that was being dangled and rumored in front of us, the exact opposite has happened. The opposite of fighting Anthony Joshua is not fighting nobody. The opposite of fighting Anthony Joshua is fighting Tank Davis. Okay. So there's one big glaring issue for me. It's just your partner being Tank Davis. Tank is not the guy that knows how to sell a fight. Tank cannot sell a fight in his own division. It could be a title fight, a contenders fight, a main event fight. He could be the favorite. He could be the underdog. Tank doesn't know how to bring that information to you guys in a way that is compelling. And Tank is already blinking in this situation. You have one guy who is argued amongst the pound for pound current greats in boxing. You have another guy that has suggested he should not even be allowed to box, that he should have to call it something different. He should not be licensed. He should not be ranked in the top 14. He should never be selected for a world title. Okay. Now, Tank has one job to do, which is to let anybody know that's listening that it doesn't make any difference, that boxing is a real sport.